Alright guys, so today we're going to be taking on Balthazar. He's a pretty easy fight in my opinion, but I know a lot of people have trouble with him, I guess because he summons a lot of minions. They don't have very high accuracy though, so as long as you have pretty good armor class, you should be fine. So the first thing we're going to want to do is enchant our weapon with thunder damage using our Drake Throat Glaive. It'll give us 1d4 on each swing of our main hand weapon. Next up, we're going to want to toss our torch over next to Balthazar. That way, when we start the fight later, we can just fly over there and dip our weapon in the fire. Then we're going to go ahead and enlarge to give ourselves some extra damage, 1d4 per swing. We're going to use haste on ourselves to get some extra actions. We're going to drink a potion of flying. We're going to drink a potion of invisibility. From there, we just fly on over, we dip our weapons in the fire, and then we can go ahead and start the fight. If you're wondering why we drank a potion of invisibility instead of just using our free Duergar invisibility, it's because we're concentrating on haste already, and our Duergar invisibility is a concentration spell as well. Can't have two concentration spells going at once. So Balthazar, in my opinion, is an incredibly underwhelming boss, but a lot of people seem to think he's difficult, so that's why I decided to do this video. He gets a few interesting abilities. First is the Undead Ward Aura. This ability makes him and nearby undead allies resistant to physical damage. It's not the worst ability in the world, but you're probably going to be focusing him down first anyway, so it doesn't get a lot of value. He also gets Alert, which is really good. It makes it so that you can't surprise attack him. I have no complaints about that one. His legendary Resistance makes him much harder to CC, which is great. He gets two legendary actions. First one is Spectral Aspect, which grants him some magical resistances and immunities to a lot of hard CCs and the ability to fly. This is only active after you've already hit him once that turn though. So it reminds me of like a weaker version of Nair's legendary action. But he doesn't have enough health to really make it very useful. So as you can see, I just absolutely obliterated him on turn 1 without even using all of my attacks on him. His second legendary action is the Dead Wastes, which creates an area around really any creature that dies. He creates an area around them, and that area of effect heals undead and damages living creatures. So again, it's a legendary action that really only works well if he's alive for long enough to use it, and since all of his abilities buff his allies, even if you're not playing a solo run, you're probably going to want to focus him down first anyway, so that makes this legendary action kinda not great, because most likely you'll kill him before you kill any of his enemies, so he'll never get to use his legendary action. So besides that, there's not much else to say about this fight. Even with all of his resistances and his defensive legendary action, Balthazar goes down super fast, turn 1, and the rest of his undead that he summoned lose his buff, which means they're now vulnerable to bludgeoning damage, whereas before they used to resist it. So our dwarf is just going to be able to kill everything in one hit, as you can see. that's another one down. If you want to be notified when the next fight is out, feel free to subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more from this character, check out my solo dwarf playlist. That's it. See you in the next one.